Welcome to Man on Scotch.
My name's Alex, this is Julio. We're going to be discussing a couple of bargain basement scotches for you today.
Boy, do we got some basement.
Oh yeah, bargains.
So, this is a novice flight. We are relatively new to whiskeys. And one day we talked about it and said, what is cheap? What is cheap and good? Because let's face it, our budget sometimes.
Yeah, so I mean...
Our wires.
Yeah. So I got into this, or you got me into this.
Yes.
Because you're not alcoholic if you drink with somebody else, right?
I resent that resemble. I'm a drunk.
I think that, right, correct. Because alcoholics means you're admitting it.
It.
So was not kind of sure by any way, shape, or form. So I was the one on the budget because I was under the, the way I thought of it is like, listen, if I'm going to get into this, I'm not going to break the bank because it's not something that I'm like, going crazy over. Buddy over here has an extremely nice collection of different scotches.
I don't like honey.
Right.
We should not name people.
Let me tell you something. All right. So, Tennessee honey whiskey was my favorite and starter into the whiskey, and it was. And listen, there's nothing wrong with Tennessee honey whiskey, and I'll tell you, I'll drink that out the bottle.
I'm not a snob,
but it's not a scotch.
Tennessee honey's not whiskey.
It's not a scotch, but
honey anything is not whiskey.
That's not true. Honey whiskey's a whiskey.
It's not whiskey.
Anyways, honey. So the way we looked at it, we're like, well, I'm sure that there are other people just like us out there. So how can we help them differentiate? And obviously we can't, everybody has their own palate, but we can kind of give you our experience on the, the base, the bargain base, different types of scotch that there is out there. And we've categorized it by least expensive to most expensive. So this is basically scotch that won't break the bank. And we're going to let you know a couple of these I haven't tried myself, so we're going to figure that out. We both have tried this one, and that's going to be very interesting.
We won't talk about that?
And we'll talk about that in a minute.
That's special, very special.
But the first one that we're gonna try off is Grant's. And this is one that Julio picked up, so why don't we...
So let me explain. Grant's was a bargain. A surprising bargain, because...
Looks good for
this
price.
For this bottle at our local now. Prices differ from regions. Here in South Florida, this was $11.99.
That's not bad.
So William Grant's is actually an interesting bottle. The distillery that brews this has been around for quite a bit of time. Established in 1887 by William Grant. But here's the kicker to all this. These are the distilleries owned, and later on down the series, we're going to cover more highbrow, better quality whiskeys. But hey, look, William Grant owns Glenfiddich, Balvenie, Girvan, Kinavie, Alyssa Bay, and Tullamore, which is an Irish whiskey. Okay. More on that later. But it comes from a nice pedigree. It does. So I'm actually excited to taste this, just for the price and the pedigree that it comes from.
So now, also keep in mind, every scotch that we have here is a blended scotch.
Yes.
So for those of us that don't know what blended scotch is, what is a blended scotch?
Blended scotch is this. So, for example, most of these scotches are sourced from different distilleries, from different barrels, different ages, to make a specific flavor profile.
Okay.
That's my understanding. So, say for example, there are some scotches that are blended to be a little bit more smoky.
Okay.
Some are blended to be a little more sweeter.
So then in each one there's a
single.
For all these to be scotch, they're all distilled in Scotland.
Yes.
But they come from different distilleries and they're blended together to make that particular flavor.
So they source it out. So the person, the master distiller, the master blender, will go to these distilleries. He will sample some barrels, say, okay, I want this lot, and then he'll go to another one, and I want this lot. And all of them have those unique flavor profiles.
Okay.
Whether it be, for example, Isla will be smoky, Highland will be a little bit more floral, Space Out a little bit more sweeter. It all have a different flavor profile.
Okay.
They put it together, they marry the scotch in a barrel, and they bottle it and they ship it. There's nothing wrong with blended scotch.
Okay.
It's just because for a lot of them, these particular ones are non-age statements. There is no statement guaranteeing that there's going to be 12 years.
Okay.
So there's
So they're not aged. They're not age specific. So
correct.
Okay.
The different scotches may be aged certain time.
Okay.
That's not really known. But these particular are not age statements, meaning they can't. For example, let's just say Doors 12, which is a blended Scotch whiskey, is the youngest whiskey in the barrel is 12 years.
Okay. So you can have 20 years, you
Yes.
can have 18 years,
Yes.
but the youngest, so they go by the youngest.
Correct. Yeah, they
whiskey.
have to guarantee
Okay, cool.
that the youngest is 12.
Okay.
They can mix a little bit of a 20, they can mix a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but legally they have to say, okay, the youngest aged whiskey is 12. They can't dump a 3-year-old and then it says 12. So
Right.
That's the catch.
Okay, perfect.
All
Well,
right.
then let's give Grant a shot, shall we?
Yes.
Literally.
Literally.
All right. So, pour myself a nice little dram.
Sure.
There we go.
Yep. It's nice in the color. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Very light.
It's like
Kind of like the way you poured that better than the way I poured it. Those were more of like a glug glug. Yours was.
look. Wow. Here's a lister. That's nice and honey color.
Yeah, but you don't like honey though.
No, I don't.
No, okay.
But it's color.
Right. No, you're right.
Don't get some pee.
That's actually really smooth. I'm extremely surprised at this.
I am surprised.
$11.99, you said.
$11.99. Yeah. Look. You know what?
I'm actually extremely satisfied with that.
I could taste
Wow.
a little bit of it.
Yeah, see, matured in 3 different types of wood for smooth, rich, and mellow taste.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
But I can tell you one thing. I could tell you, like, for example, this has some Balvenie, and it's like a Balvenie, and
I agree with
it's
that,
a little bit sweeter type of whiskey.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have a big bite to it, which is great.
Not at all. I mean, honestly, for $11.99.
I mean, you can't beat that. Honestly, so like I've tried a couple of the others. This one so far has surprised me the most. This one surprised me as well, but on a completely different level.
We will talk about that later.
Right.
But yeah, it is. Look at the legs. Look at the alcohol
Oh, very,
legs on
very
it.
good.
You can tell it's a bargain.
Right. It's not your $50 a glass whiskey,
No.
but it's
But
after coming home and unwinding after a long day. I mean, this isn't terrible for.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. If I get to a party and somebody had a 1.57 liter of this, one of these jugs of this guy, I would not sneer at it at all.
At all. I would be proud to offer this to my Pottians. All right.
It's actually
So again, that was surprisingly
good.
good.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Honestly, that right there, it reminds me of Balvenie. Obviously, they own Balvenie, but a cheap Balvenie.
Right.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have.
But what do you expect for
you're gonna have-
$11.99, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of its. I mean, if it owns the Balvenie, it's
Yeah.
going to have a little bit of in it. So, for the price, I mean, you can't beat that. You can't beat that.
Honestly, man, I thought this was gonna be rock good.
I really thought.
$11.99.
Here's the thing. I look at the red label. The coloring is very familiar to like the Johnny Red, which is not my favorite whiskey.
No, exactly.
But honestly, for the price and for the taste, it's amazing.
So
That we're gonna try is Sir Edward's. Now this is a 12-year. This one kind of like snuck in there. So this one's aged 12 years. This is a blended Scotch. It was actually given to me by one of my customers, and this one's aged in oak casks, which is really interesting.
Sir Edward's bottled it himself.
Yeah, he did. In 1891, and he's been alive.
He's still at it.
He is still at it. The company that distills this actually owns a distillery in Bordeaux, France, which is known for some very, very delicious
Wines.
which
So they
we-
bottle it in Scots. It's matured in Scotland, so it can technically be called, but it's owned by somebody in
It's
France.
it's owned by a French guy who bottles it in Scotland to name it Scotch.
That's right. It has to.
Screw you Americans, I bottle this whatever I want to and call it Scotch, eh?
Yeah, just offended half of the.
Yeah,
no
you're right,
worries.
I'm sorry. My French accent is terrible, I'm sorry.
Wait until you hear my Scottish.
Yeah, it's even worse. All right, so this one's actually a little bit darker, a little more golden than honey than the last one.
Yeah.
Very sweet flavor, or scent. So
Sweet scent.
let's give it a shot.
No woody.
Very. I wonder if this. It's not peated, is it?
No.
It's definitely not peated, but it does have...
No. It does. It does have some peated whiskey in it.
It does, right?
Yeah.
Because I can taste it. And
Yeah.
you know how I am with peat.
No,
I mean,
it does
peat-
have.
You
Well,
Pete
remember
fight
what
all the time.
You and
Damn
Pete. Well, you're gonna learn Pete. But remember what I told you?
Get along.
They could go anywhere.
Right.
So this may have some.
Yeah, I mean, this one was definitely
malt.
so it's aged in oak barrels,
Yeah,
which
but
is
it's
all
very-
Scotch is aged in oak barrels. But
well,
for the most part.
used,
right,
not
right,
virgin.
used, right, old bourbon barrels, but still, they're
Little thing that a lot of Scotch distilleries will actually buy virgin oak cask, send it or lease it to American distilleries, bourbon distilleries, and after they're done,
use it for Scotch.
they send it to Scotch because legally bourbon can only be aged in virgin oak cask.
Ah, right.
So they can't reuse it. So
Right.
after they're done, they have no more use to it. So
There's nothing you can do.
yeah,
Okay. Very good. Not as smooth.
I mean,
So it's smooth, but the wood, you can taste the wood a little bit more. You can taste the smokiness a little bit more than the Grants.
you can't tell it's smoky off the nose.
If you like smoky whiskey, if you like smoky Scotch, this is definitely great for the price, $17.99. It's not going to break your
very
bank.
mild, man.
If you're not into smoky or peated whiskey or anything like that, then definitely the Grants is going to be your go-to. So that's
But this is very mild.
it's
small.
100%. No. It's
Don't-
not.
don't-
It's not.
Don't let them scare you off.
No, I'm not. No. It's not. It doesn't taste fully smoked. It's not
It's
like
a
an Argus
twinge.
or anything like that.
It's just a
It's not like,
twinge of smoke.
right. It's not like an Ardbeg.
No,
That's really bad.
It's not the Ardbeg.
It's not the Ardbeg. But if you like a smoky whiskey or if you like a smoky taste, this is definitely a great selection. If you're not into that or your flavor profile isn't just there yet, then Grant's is definitely
You know what this
a
reminds me of?
contender.
A toned down Johnny Walker Black.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I can see that. Yeah.
It's a little bit because Johnny Walker you can taste a lot more smoke in there. And we're gonna go to Johnny Walker. Johnny
we'll have a
Walker
walkathon one day.
Walkathon is gonna be
That'll
done.
happen.
It's just such a huge name that honestly, there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of
It's
great
just really
advertising.
good marketing.
That oak bite comes to hit you
At the end.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it. I kind of like the bite.
But it's not a really
It's really not. It's not like
complicated
a right.
flavor.
Right. It's not like a damn.
No.
It's more of like a oh.
no.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Next on the table is gonna be Le Famous Grouse.
The famous grouse.
Grouse being the bird that's on this. It's actually I believe it's the national bird for
Yeah.
Scotland?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
So
So
that's why it's famous. because it's
this
the national
bottle,
bird.
this bottle just for you, we're not counting the price of this bottle,
Right.
Because this is the only side I have.
Correct.
But,
But this bottle, okay, so this bottle, that size, or this brand, this size, is $19.99.
Yep.
So that's why it's our third. So you have $11.99, $17.99. We're now at $19.99. This particular bottle is what I think 20.
yeah, it's like
25,
26 bucks,
26,
something like
right.
that.
So if you were to get the Famous Grouse at one of the smaller size bottles, then you'd be at the $19.99, which is why we have it next on our list. So let's give this one a shot. Which
Yeah, what
apparently
kind
you've given it a little bit more than a shot. Jesus.
Well, I mean, this has been used in parties.
Oh, sure it has. Mhm.
Yes, it has. Single
Yeah.
parties.
Single parties for yourself when you're
1.57 liters.
when you're home alone.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. So let's give this one a little shot here.
Mhm.
All right, there you go.
Jeez.
I know. Okay.
We gotta have like rubber here.
I know. I gotta get like a little bar
Yeah, seriously.
thing here. I mean, we're it's a work in progress. At least
It
the
is.
coaster is not the most part. It took me forever to build this thing.
Lighter smell.
This one's not only lighter smell, but lighter look. So
Yep.
it went from light to darker, and then now it's lighter.
Well,
again. So
this one darker is probably because of the oak cask.
correct. Yeah, and we should have probably seen that coming. But this one's very light, not as sweet smelling as the last two.
There's not a really much in the nose. It's
No,
like
at all. Very smooth. A little bit of a bite at the end. Nothing crazy. I mean, if I had to go between the three that we've done so far, I think I'd still stick to Grant's. But this is actually very, very good.
it's just you know what? This is an easy drinking, but not much in the flavor.
It's very. And
So-
nothing against it. It's just a little, in my opinion, a little bit empty.
Yeah.
The flavor.
Yeah.
There's not, you don't taste any of the honey or
Nothing.
or any of the anything, any wood or anything like that on it. It's a very straightforward Scotch.
That's it.
But it's not bad. It's not bad by any means.
It's a working man Scotch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's for the size and the price, it's great. But if you're looking for a little bit more flavor, if you're looking for something a little bit more robust, a little bit stronger, as far as not stronger in the alcohol level, but stronger in the flavor profile, that you want to taste something a little bit more, then definitely the other two are going to be the.
Speaking of which, something we didn't cover. Let me go back here. This is a 40%er.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 40%. All right.
Okay.
40% is pretty standard. That's the minimum you can do it.
Yeah, and most of the bottom levels are going to have
40%. Okay, so in the alcohol department, they're all the same.
Yeah. So
yeah,
this one,
you're not gonna get.
it's a little empty in my opinion as far as the flavor profile.
So,
all right. So that brings us to the next bottle on our segment here, and that's going to be J&B.
But this is rare.
It's a rare J&B,
and apparently this is a mix of 23 Scotches.
Yeah, and so here's our take. We've tried J&B before, and so I don't like knocking any brand. Everybody has their favorite, and everybody does a hard work to try to produce a quality product to their public. I am not a fan of J&B. It's not my cup of tea.
How dare you, sir?
No, I know.
How dare you? This has been appointed to King George III.
So, I mean, long story short, it went through 5 or 6 different kings and queens because they couldn't drink it.
I think they drank it and then they poured it.
And they're like, "Oh my God, this is so good! Let's regift it." Yeah. And this is basically the regift. Now, you can use this as part of like a mixer. So if you're going to be mixing Scotch, which I don't do, but if you're going to be mixing it with Scotch and Coke, go ahead and use J&B. It's this one in particular is $21.99.
I'll be honest, man. I don't think I'll even use that for a mixer.
I mean, it was given to me,
To be fair, you know what? To be fair, I would rather use Grant's.
And here's after talking about my distaste for it, I also poured myself a little bit longer, a little bit bigger of a dram than I thought it would be.
Look at that glass.
Yeah, that says I don't want to drink this, but I'm going to anyways. This says, "Oops, I poured too much."
Yeah, you want to pour a little bit in there?
No, yeah, I'm definitely gonna give you some because this is cruel and unusual.
You know what? This has a very.
It's almost clear, man. Like honestly, it's very very. I mean, if you're into that kind. Well, let's give this another shot. Oh God, just as great as the last time, right?
I mean,
look, if you're gonna blend it, if you're gonna mix it with something, mix it. Listen. There are people. I'm sure there are people out there that love J&B. And this is their go-to Scotch.
Okay.
It's not mine.
Okay.
All right. And last but not least, the one that we're going to try here is going to be
Monkey Shoulder.
Monkey Shoulder. Now, this happens to be one of my all-time favorites. You actually introduced me to this.
Yes, I did.
Back when we did our cigar and whiskey days.
We'll be addressing some cigar stuff.
Oh, absolutely. But this one's really nice. Blended Scotch. And this one's not aged at all, correct?
No.
Yeah, no, this one's not
no age statement. Monkey shoulder. So monkey shoulder, a lot of people don't know is that monkey. Back in the day when they used to scoop, the men used to work at the mills, the distilleries, scooping malt inside the vat. They did it in a way they use the same arm, the same side all the time, and they would get something called a monkey shoulder because one shoulder was kind of like humped.
Oh, so
that's that story.
It wasn't that they had a monkey on their shoulder while scooping malt.
They may have.
Okay.
They did, but
that's a very misleading statement.
That's very distillery.
There's 3 monkeys on it.
Wow, on their backs.
On their backs. I mean, there's literally monkeys on their backs. But if you say that that's not what it is, then I guess I have to know what you're saying.
Curious George has a drinking problem.
Yeah, that's why he's so curious. All right, there you go, sir.
So
now this one, as you can see here.
Whoops! I poured myself more than normal.
Holy crap! Whatever, man. That's your badge. So this one is.
What are you talking about? It's about the same. Actually, you poured more.
Did I? No. That's a normal dram.
Freaking elite moocher.
Yeah. Anyways, so as you can see, this one's actually a little more golden. Very similar to the Grants.
Yes.
Wouldn't be surprised. I would say it's kind of like a blend between the Grants and the Sir Edwards.
It's a little more.
It's like it's leaning more towards, you know, kind of like a blend between the two. This one's a little darker. This one's a little lighter. This one's kind of like right in the middle. So, all right. So let's give this one.
Okay, so this one has a lot of malt right off the nose.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you could definitely smell that.
Yeah, small.
Oh my God, it's so damn smooth. That has to be the smoothest of the 4 or 5 that we're 5 in now.
It's a rich taste.
Can't count.
Hey, you've been drinking it.
It is a rich taste.
The J&B got you.
This one, yeah, it did. It like you smell it and it kills your brain cells. Yeah. This one is $29.99 off the bat on Total Wine, which is not too bad for an everyday Scotch. $29.99. It's about your average. It's what Founders Reserve is right around the same price.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of Founders Reserve.
But big difference between the Founder Reserves and this. The Founder Reserve is a single malt.
Right. Correct. Yes.
But yeah, at $29.99 you're gonna find a lot of choices. But I think Monkey Shoulder is
that's your best bang for your buck, though. As far as flavor profile, taste, smoothness, and everything. That's really where the I would put my money in.
But now, this one is more.
This one's great.
To be fair, this is a lot more malty.
Yes, but it's super smooth.
This was a little bit more sweeter. I think.
I remember when you introduced me to this. I was extremely surprised. Yeah, extremely surprised how smooth it was. So this is definitely my favorite out of the 5 is going to be the Monkey Shoulder, hands down. But as far as best bang for your buck, Grant's is great there as well. Sir Edwards, you know, if you're into the peat and you're into the smoky whiskeys, that's definitely the way to go.
I'm gonna surprise you.
So this is great. I mean, so now we know. As if I had to rank it from least to greatest, I would say as far as smoothness and flavor, I'm going to go with Monkey Shoulder. I'll do Grant's next after that. Sir Edwards.
Yep.
Yeah, I can do Sir Edwards over Famous Grouse. And then J&B, if you have no taste buds and you like mixing
to be fair with the bottle, I mean, this is a little bit more ager, so it's going to be a little bit more depth.
No, 100%.
But
right, so so I completely agree. This one, if you're going to be looking for something smoky, that's going to be the way to go. Yeah. If you're looking for bargain basement, that's going to be the way to go.
I don't want you to overstate. This is not really smoky.
It is smoky. It's compared to everything that we've tried, that's the smokiest.
It was.
I'm not being a wuss. It is the smokiest. Am I wrong saying
no,
it's the smokiest?
Yes.
Right. So
you're able to pick up.
As far as bargain basement, as far as least expensive, as far as your bargain whiskeys, your bargain scotches that you want to be smoky, that's going to be the way to go at $17.99 as opposed to very non-smoky at $11.99. It's just out of the 5 that we had, that is the most smoky one.
Yeah, that note is strong for the
right, but it's not like absorbing all the flavor and you're not going to like it or anything like that. Not at all. It's a great tasting Scotch. It just happens to be out of the 5 a little bit more smokier than the other ones. If you're on a budget, this is where you want to start off at, in my opinion.
This is not bad too.
So that concludes our Battle of the Blends. We want you to subscribe. Definitely subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions, if we said anything wrong, which I'm sure we did, go ahead and leave that in the comment section, and we will battle you back and forth because we're very petty. So we'll be back here next week with another video. Again,
until then, keep on drinking.
Keep on drinking.
Keep on drinking.
Then I'm gonna keep on drinking.
Cheers.
To you.